They begged God to make you theirs. Now His answer is here, my beloved soul. Come closer to these words, as if you are sitting in a quiet room where only your heartbeat, your breath, and the soft whisper of truth can reach you. What you are about to hear is not an accident, not a coincidence, not something that appeared on your screen by chance. This message is arriving because someone has been praying for you, wishing for you, asking God to guide them toward you, or to guide you toward them. And now, the answer has arrived. You may feel something shifting inside you even now, a pull, a recognition, a warmth that rises slowly, like a sunrise inside your chest. That feeling is not imagination. It is connection. It is alignment. It is confirmation that you are about to discover something that was hidden behind the curtains of time, waiting for the right moment, the right maturity, the right emotional season. They begged God for you. But not in the way people beg out of desperation. No, theirs was a different kind of plea. They prayed from the soul. They prayed from longing. They prayed from recognition. They saw something in you, something pure, something real, something rare, and they whispered to the heavens, "Please, let this be the one who walks beside me. Let this be the one you choose for me." And today, my beloved soul, you are hearing the first echo of God's answer. But let us begin clearly, slowly, gently. Somewhere in your life, past or present, there is someone whose heart was drawn to you in a way they didn't expect, didn't plan, and didn't understand. You touched something deep in them. Maybe you didn't even know you had this effect. Maybe you felt it too but brushed it away. Maybe you sensed something but weren't sure if it was real. This person wasn't just interested in you. They weren't just curious. They weren't just attracted. They were moved. They were inspired. You awakened something asleep inside them. Something they didn't even know existed until you stepped into their story. Through nights when their chest felt heavy, through days when silence cut deeper than words, through moments when they looked for answers and found none, they kept whispering the same quiet plea to God, "Bring them closer to me, if it is your will." And today, it is His will. But before we talk about the answer, my beloved soul, I need you to understand why they prayed so intensely for you. They prayed because you made them feel safe. You made them feel seen. You made them feel understood without trying. You are not like the world around them, full of noise, confusion, games, pressure, and masks. You have a softness, a depth, a sincerity that touched them in a place where almost nobody else could reach. Your presence, even from a distance, even in silence, even through memories, wrapped around their heart like light wraps around darkness. You changed something inside them. You softened their anger. You calmed their worries. You brought them peace in moments when they didn't even know they needed peace. Your energy spoke to their soul before your words ever spoke to their ears. You became a quiet wish they carried with them. You became a hope they tucked softly into their prayers. You became a name they whispered when the world felt too loud. And because they didn't know what to do with these feelings, they did the one thing they trusted most. They took your name to God. My Lord, if they are meant for me, if this feeling is real, if this connection is sacred, bring us into alignment. And now, after time, after patience, after divine observation, God is answering. But His answer is not falling from the sky in the form of a loud voice or a miracle written in fire. His answers rarely come that way. They come as moments, signs, inner shifts, sudden clarity, unexpected emotions, quiet realizations that shake the heart gently but deeply. And if you pay attention right now, you may already feel His answer beginning. There is something you need to understand, my beloved soul. You were not prayed for by accident. You were prayed for because your presence carries meaning. You were prayed for because your energy echoes truth. You were prayed for because you awakened something sacred in someone who thought their heart was done believing, done hoping, done dreaming. Many times, you felt like people didn't value you. You felt overlooked, underestimated, misunderstood. You felt like you gave love that wasn't returned, effort that wasn't appreciated, kindness that was taken for granted. But this person, this soul who prayed for you, saw the real you. The you beneath the layers. The you who loves deeply and hurts deeply. The you who tries even when tired. The you who carries wounds but still loves with tenderness. And because they saw you clearly, they didn't want to lose you. That is why they begged God. But here is where things become even more powerful. God did not answer immediately. Not because He didn't hear. Not because He didn't care. Not because the connection wasn't real. He waited. He waited for timing. He waited for growth. He waited for hearts to align. He waited until both of you were ready, not perfect, but ready. Ready to receive. Ready to understand. Ready to appreciate. Ready to build something lasting rather than something temporary. And that moment, that readiness, is happening right now. Which is why you are listening to this message. But let me take you deeper. Let's walk inside the heart of the one who prayed for you. There were nights they lay awake thinking about you, replaying your words, your presence, your laugh, your eyes, the way you move, the way you speak with kindness even when you've been hurt. There were moments when they wanted to reach out but felt scared. Scared of losing you, scared of misreading the signs, scared that you would slip away if they stepped forward at the wrong time. So instead of forcing things, they surrendered it to God. They said, God, you know their soul. You know mine. If this connection is meant to grow, guide us to each other naturally. And God listened. But God always tests the heart before He blesses it. He tested their patience. He tested their emotional maturity. He tested their intentions. He tested whether they were choosing you out of loneliness or out of truth. And now, only after proving themselves in silence, in reflection, in emotional discipline, God is finally opening the way. But here is something even more profound, my beloved soul. They didn't pray for you to fix them. They didn't pray for you to save them. They didn't pray for you to complete them. They prayed for you because they want to build with you, grow with you, walk with you. Not above you, not behind you, but beside you. Their prayer came from respect, from admiration, from a type of love that is rare in this world, a love rooted not in possession, but in appreciation. And God honors those kinds of prayers. You may be wondering now, what is God's answer? What does this mean for me? What will happen next? The answer is unfolding. And you are part of it. God's answer is not a single moment. It is a journey. It is a gradual opening of doors, opportunities, emotions, and clarity. It is the return of a connection you thought was fading. It is the deepening of a bond you didn't expect. It is a message, a meeting, a confession, a shift, that will come when you are calm, not when you are anxious. This is the season where the energy between you and this person strengthens. Where the distance closes. Where the misunderstanding clears. Where the emotional fog begins to lift. You may soon feel a pull toward them, stronger than before. You may feel guided to reach out. Or they may suddenly step forward with sincerity, vulnerability, and clarity you were not expecting. God's answer comes with timing, not rushing. With alignment, not confusion. With peace, not pressure. And the answer is simple: you were not prayed for in vain. You were prayed for because you matter. And now, God is guiding this connection forward. But before this part ends, my beloved soul, I need you to hear this last truth: you are not hard to love. You were simply waiting for someone whose heart speaks the same language as yours. Someone who values softly, loves deeply, feels honestly, prays sincerely. You were waiting for someone whose soul recognizes yours. And that person, the one who begged God for you, the one whose prayers carried your name, the one who felt chosen just by meeting you. They are stepping closer now. Not because they are perfect. Not because they have everything figured out. But because God has given them the strength, the clarity, and the timing to move toward you with truth. This is the beginning of the divine answer. And you are ready for it. More ready than you realize. My beloved soul. Take a slow breath before you continue, because this part of the message moves even deeper into the truth behind why someone has been praying for you so intensely. The feelings you are about to understand are the kind that people rarely put into words, the kind that sit quietly inside the heart, waiting for the right moment to be revealed. You may not realize it, but there was a time when this person felt completely lost about what to do with their emotions for you. They didn't know how to approach you, how to express their feelings, or how to understand the bond that seemed to appear in their life without warning. It wasn't just attraction. It wasn't just interest. It wasn't a passing moment. It was something that felt divinely placed. Something that made them pause. Something that made them rethink their path. Your presence entered their life the way sunrise slowly enters a dark room, silently at first, then suddenly illuminating everything they didn't know needed light. In the quiet moments when they thought of you, they found comfort they couldn't find anywhere else. And even though they tried to push the feeling away at times, thinking it was impossible, unrealistic, or too overwhelming, it kept returning to them, stronger than before. This is why they turned to God. Not out of fear. Not out of confusion. But out of reverence for the truth they felt inside. They whispered, God, I don't want to lose this. Help me understand what this connection means. If this is real, guide us. And God did hear them. But before sending the answer, He needed to work on something important, healing. Not only theirs. Yours too. Both of you carry wounds, old pain, old memories, old disappointments, things that made it hard to trust, hard to hope, hard to open up completely. This person has been hurt before. They have been betrayed, overlooked, lied to, or treated as if their heart didn't matter. Because of that, they carried a fear of giving their love too quickly or too deeply only to be left shattered again. You have felt something similar. Your scars are different, but the pain behind them is familiar. Loneliness. Rejection. Being chosen last, or not chosen at all. Giving love to the wrong people. Trying to be good for someone who didn't deserve you. Both of you needed time. Time to grow. Time to heal. Time to understand yourselves. This period of waiting wasn't punishment. It was preparation. And now, my beloved soul, divine timing is beginning to unfold. You may have noticed changes inside yourself recently, a shift in your desires, a change in your mindset, a new level of clarity in your heart. This is not random. This is alignment. God does not bring two souls together when they are closed, confused, or unprepared. He brings them together when they can appreciate each other fully, when they can give love without fear, when they can receive love without questioning its worth. You are entering that season now. And so are they. But let me take you inside their heart even deeper. There were moments when they watched you, listened to you, or remembered you, and they felt something they had never felt with anyone else. It wasn't just admiration. It wasn't just affection. It was a sense of belonging. A feeling that said, this is someone my soul recognizes. They didn't want to rush toward you because they respected the connection too much. They didn't want to lose you by stepping forward at the wrong time. So they took their heart to God, not wanting to rely on their own confusion. God tested them quietly. He asked them to grow emotionally. To learn patience. To learn humility. To learn honesty. To learn that love is not something you chase recklessly, it's something you nurture gently, responsibly, and with intention. This person learned their lessons through silence, through loneliness, through reflecting on their past mistakes. They matured. They changed. They became someone more stable, more grounded, more capable of loving deeply without fear. And now God is preparing them to step toward you. But here is something important, my beloved soul. God's answer to their prayer is not just about bringing you into their life. It's also about bringing you into your highest emotional season. He needed you to understand your worth. He needed you to see how valuable your love is. He needed you to realize that the reason many people failed you in the past is because your heart wasn't meant for them. Your love is too gentle for careless hands, too deep for shallow souls, too loyal for temporary people. This person who prayed for you feels the same depth you carry. And that is why they prayed so sincerely, because they recognized something divine in you. There is something else I need to reveal. There was a moment, maybe small, maybe unnoticed, when you almost lost this connection. A misunderstanding. A silence. A distance. A moment where you thought you were forgotten, ignored, or no longer valued. But during that time, while you were questioning everything, they were praying harder than before. They asked God not to let their feelings ruin the connection. They asked God to protect the bond, even in silence. They asked God to give them the right moment to come forward with truth and clarity. And God honored those prayers. That is why you are hearing this message now. Because this is the season when things begin to move again. When the stagnant energy breaks. When the emotional fog clears. When the connection becomes undeniable and stronger than before. God's answer is not loud, but it is powerful. He is pulling both of you back into alignment. Not forcefully. Not urgently. But naturally. You may soon notice. A message. A sign. A shift in their behavior. A sudden expression of emotion. A moment where you feel guided to open your heart again. Nothing will feel rushed. Nothing will feel confusing. Nothing will feel forced. God's answer always comes with peace. But I need to tell you this, my beloved soul, this person didn't just ask God to bring you closer. They asked Him to make them worthy of you. They asked for strength to protect your heart. They asked for wisdom to understand your emotions. They asked for patience to love you correctly. They asked for guidance so they don't repeat the mistakes of their past. You may not know it, but your presence made them want to become better, not because they felt small, but because they felt inspired. That is the power you have. And now God is allowing this connection to grow in a way that feels stable, healthy, respectful, and emotionally safe for both of you. You will no longer feel like love is a battlefield. You will no longer feel like you are begging for effort, attention, or honesty. You will no longer feel like you are confused about someone's intentions. You will feel clarity. You will feel direction. You will feel tenderness growing quietly between you. Because this time, love comes with guidance. Love comes with intention. Love comes with spiritual protection. This time, it is different. This time, God is involved. Before this part ends, I want to tell you a truth many people never hear: you deserve to be prayed for. Not chased for fun. Not used for convenience. Not loved halfway. You deserve someone who takes your name to God. Someone who prays for your well-being even when you're not around. Someone who looks at you not with fear, but with gratitude. Someone who wants to hold your heart gently, not recklessly. This person sees that in you. That is why they begged God. And God's answer is unfolding quietly, beautifully, at this very moment. Prepare your heart, my beloved soul. The story is not over, it is just beginning. My beloved soul. As you move into this next part of the message, I want you to listen not with your ears, but with your heart. Because what you are about to hear is something most people never get to feel in their lifetime. You are stepping into a truth that has been hidden behind the walls of silence, behind the weight of timing, behind the distance that once seemed impossible to cross. Now the walls are thinning. The silence is breaking. The distance is shrinking. Because God's answer is becoming clearer than ever before. You may not realize it, but the person who prayed for you has been going through a transformation. Not just emotional growth, but spiritual alignment. They have been learning what love truly is, not the loud, dramatic kind that burns fast and dies faster, but the quiet, steady, respectful love that grows like roots beneath the earth. There were moments when they felt lost without your presence. Moments when they wished they could reach out. Moments when they almost did, but something inside them said, wait. Grow first. Understand first. Heal first. And so they waited. Not because they wanted distance, but because they wanted to become the version of themselves that your heart deserves. What you don't know, my beloved soul, is that this person went on a quiet emotional journey. A journey guided by the prayers you never heard. A journey shaped by the love they didn't know how to express yet. A journey built around one single desire: God, please prepare me for them. And God listened. God watched. God examined the heart. God softened their spirit. God cleared their fears. God strengthened their intentions. Because when someone prays for you with sincerity, heaven does not ignore it. Now let me take you inside a moment that changed everything for them. There was a day, not long ago, when they felt your energy stronger than usual. Maybe they remembered something you said. Maybe they saw something that reminded them of you. Maybe they dreamed of you. Maybe they felt your absence more intensely than before. Whatever it was, it pulled them back to you like an invisible thread tightening between two souls. They paused. They reflected. And for the first time in a long time, they felt clarity instead of confusion. They realized, they didn't just miss you because of attraction. They didn't just miss you because of loneliness. They missed you because your soul brought them peace. Your energy quieted their storms. Your presence made them feel at home. Your kindness made them believe in compassion again. Your depth reminded them what real connection feels like. And in that moment of clarity, they prayed, not to keep you trapped, not to force destiny, not to manipulate fate, but to be guided toward you in the right way. They said, God, if this is the soul you chose for me, open the path slowly, safely, and beautifully. And that prayer shifted something. It awakened alignment. It awakened timing. It awakened movement. And now, every day, the path between you is becoming clearer. But here is something even deeper. You may think you are the only one who felt confused. The only one who felt emotional pull. The only one who wondered why this connection felt different. But that is not true. They felt it too. They questioned it too. They tried to understand it too. They tried to walk away from the feeling, but they couldn't. Because when God writes a connection into the soul, the mind cannot erase it. They tried distracting themselves. They tried focusing on work, life, responsibilities. They tried convincing themselves it was nothing. But every time they tried to silence the feeling, your name echoed in their heart again. Every time they tried to let the connection fade, their spirit pulled them back. Every time they tried to disconnect emotionally, they found themselves praying instead. That is not coincidence. That is not imagination. That is not weakness. That is divine alignment. And this alignment is leading them back to you, stronger, wiser, and more emotionally ready than before. Now let me tell you about something God revealed to them in silence. They realized that choosing you isn't just about romance. It's about purpose. It's about peace. It's about destiny. It's about emotional safety. It's about the feeling of being understood without explaining every part of themselves. With you, they felt seen. With you, they felt valued. With you, they felt like they didn't have to pretend to be stronger than they are. Your soul didn't demand perfection. It welcomed truth. That kind of acceptance is rare in this world. And that is why they begged God, not out of desperation, but out of gratitude. They begged because they didn't want to lose the chance to build something meaningful with you. They begged because they felt chosen just by knowing you. They begged because they sensed something divine in your presence. And you, my beloved soul, are finally beginning to feel what they've felt for so long. The tug. The energy. The spiritual pull. The emotional fire that doesn't burn but warms. The connection that doesn't confuse but guides. That is God's answer unfolding inside you. But let me ask you something. Have you noticed the way your intuition has been speaking lately? Have you noticed that you feel more open than before? More curious? More hopeful? More emotionally aware? That is not an accident. God is preparing your heart to receive the connection that is returning. The walls around your emotions are softening. The fear inside you is loosening. The doubts are beginning to fade. And soon, something unexpected will happen. A message. A gesture. A sign. A moment that makes you pause and think, is this the beginning? Yes. It is. Not a beginning created by pressure. Not a beginning born from confusion. Not a beginning fueled by fear or insecurity. A beginning created by divine timing. A beginning built from prayers. From longing. From sincere intentions. From hearts that have grown and healed enough to finally meet again. There is something important you must know. This person didn't pray for the version of you that hides your feelings. They didn't pray for the version of you that doubts your worth. They didn't pray for the version of you shaped by past hurt. They prayed for the real you. The soft you. The kind you. The loyal you. The soulful you. The version of you who loves deeply and wholeheartedly. They saw the truth beneath your walls. And they prayed for that truth to stay connected to theirs. That is why their prayer reached heaven. Because it came from honesty, not illusion. Now let me tell you the part that God wants you to understand as you enter the next chapter. You are not being led into a repeating cycle. You are not being led into hurt. You are not being led into heartbreak. You are being led into clarity. Into emotional balance. Into mutual effort. Into genuine connection. Into something protected by divine intention. The pain you carried before? It is not coming with you. The person who once felt unsure now feels guided. The person who once felt quiet now feels prepared. The person who once prayed in confusion now prays with purpose. God's answer is not just yes. It is yes, but in the right time, and the right way, with the right heart. And that time is unfolding now. Before this part ends, my beloved soul, take this truth with you: you are not someone who gets prayed for casually. You are someone whose presence changes hearts. You are someone who activates spiritual feelings in others. You are someone whose energy awakens growth and love. Not everyone inspires prayer. Not everyone touches the soul so deeply that someone begs God for guidance. But you did. You do. You always have. And soon, you will see the proof. Because the one who prayed for you is stepping closer, not from fear, but from divine clarity. The story is still unfolding. And what comes next is even more powerful.